Yesterday I had a conversation with Aisling, and this is a conversation with Aisling that's been replicated in many homes these days with children who have special needs and can't get a school place or go through the primary section of their education only to find when the parents turn around and say, okay, now we need to look to secondary school, they're told, terribly sorry, but there are no places now for your child anymore, but we will give you 20 hours homeschooling. Off you go. That prompted a lot of texts, which I will read between now and quitting time, hopefully, but it did prompt calls as well amongst them. Anne-Marie, good morning.
Hi Neil, how are you?
So listening to Aisling was like listening to your own story yesterday, was it?
I suppose Aisling is a mother in Cara Junior School where my daughter attends as well.
Yeah.
And it's very worrying for us as parents what they're going through this year. Out of 14 leaving Cara this year, only 7 have places. So that's 7 families with no school in September.
Yeah.
And the only option they're given is home tuition. Now, our daughter Katie is leaving next year, and we know there's 17 kids leaving Cara Junior School, and there's only probably going to be 10 places in Scultria.
Heartbreaking, isn't it?
It is heartbreaking. Like, if we look at Scultria this year, there was 30 applications and only 10 places. So that's 20 people who didn't get the appropriate education setting for September coming. And what are them kids going to do? They're forgotten in the system. So that's where the homeschooling comes into play, and that's not satisfactory to parents. Well, we have no option B. If Katie doesn't get into Scultria next year, we're going to be told we can home tuition 20 hours. That's no good for us. She runs out the door. She loves school. It's not just about school, it's independence. She loves the cookery in school.
Absolutely, it's hugely social.
Hugely social. And what's very frustrating as parents is our kids go into the educational system and they're there how many years, and there's no plan at the end. It's just mind-boggling that there's so many kids just lost in the system. Where did we find 25, maybe 30 billion euro for COVID when we couldn't find that kind of money for our families and our children? And see, Neil, it's not just happening this year and next year. It's every year. We have a problem with special needs placements for people going into secondary school or even primary school. Is it that they're just overwhelmed with diagnoses, maybe? Well, I suppose when you have a dual diagnosis as well, like Katie has autism and she has a moderate learning disability, some schools aren't an option for us and they won't accept maybe moderate. Other schools are oversubscribed. Like Cara Junior School, you have to leave when your child is 12. Other special schools in Cork, they're up to 18. We can't apply for them. They're going to be full. You're not going to get into them because they're there till they're 18. So what do we do? And the homeschooling, the 20 hours, that would be for a number of years, wouldn't it? It'd be for her whole secondary school. If she doesn't get in next year, how's she going to get in the following year? No, but I'm saying, is there a chance that she might slot in second year or third year? No, sure. If you look at this year, at 7 kids who didn't get in, next year our numbers are higher of kids leaving Cara. And the following year, the kids can't really slot in when there's no space even there for the people that are leaving in the current year. I think in years to come we'll look back on this, if it ever improves, and say, why was this tolerated? Well, it hasn't. Nothing happened the last 10 years. We need change. April is awareness for autism, and you can see My Boy Blue on Facebook. They're putting up stories every day now of people who don't have placements, and it's lovely to see the faces of these kids. We need, as parents, we need the government to do something. Absolutely, because it's the most vulnerable. We need another special school in Cork. It's the most vulnerable that need the no disrespect to anybody's son or daughter, don't get me wrong, but don't the vulnerable need the most care, attention and encouragement so that they with their spectrum issues get to shine and to blossom and to thrive. And for Katie, she's non-verbal. If we when we get a letter next March, it's going to say yes or no that we have school in September. Yeah. Yes or no. How can we explain it to her? She's non-verbal. She doesn't understand. She's sitting at the door with her car seat and her bag in her back and running out to the bus. I know, misfortune. I actually don't know what we will do next year. No idea. Okay. And our kids have a right to education.
Neil Prendeville, the voice of Cork. Weekdays 9 to 12. Cork's Red FM.